Jagrita, Giant Masters. Some people think that they're not interested in spirituality. And given all the different teachings and how people present spirituality, I don't blame them. But the truth of the matter is, that's all anybody is interested in, is true spirituality. Every single thing an organism does, from an amoeba all the way up to humans, is to try to be okay. One, to try and stay alive, for sure, survival instinct, but to try to feel energy, to try to feel happy, to find feel enthused, to find feel passion, to find feel meaning. That's what everybody's doing. Well, that's what spirituality is about. I'd like to leave the word God out of the whole discussion. We can do it at the end. What do you mean that's what it's about? Have you noticed that there are times that you feel wonderful? There are times you feel high. There are times you feel love. There are times you feel enthused. Have you noticed that there's times that you don't feel love and you don't feel enthused and you feel depressed and you feel yucky? Yes or no? Oh, I got the right crowd then. Okay? For some reason, as intelligent as we are, we don't ask why. We ask, what do I do about it? Listen to me. That's what the mind will naturally do. It will say, I'm not happy now. Not why. We'll see the difference. Why am I not happy? No. What do I need to do? What do I need to get? What needs to happen so that I can be happy? Those are two totally different things. To sit there and say, I need something to be happy, has denied the possibility that you need to get rid of something to be happy. You've assumed that my natural state is not happy. Right? That's my natural state. Now I need to find things from outside, people, places, things, experiences, whatever it is, drugs, alcohol, I don't care, whatever it is, so that when I bring it in, that within me that's not happy can be happier or happy. Right? You've left out an entire possibility, which is you happen to be ecstatic inside, but something's blocking that you don't need anything from the outside. Yes, you can get something from the outside that compensates for the fact that you're not okay. That's a very big word. It doesn't fix it. It compensates for it. What do you mean? If it goes away, if the thing you got goes away, it leaves you, it dies, it doesn't behave the way you thought it should, it doesn't work anymore, does it? It's called a conditional state of well-being. It's conditioned on something. Well, the teachings of spirituality are the fact that the truth of the matter is everybody's natural state is ecstasy. Not, I'm okay. Not, I'll get by. It's not bad. I'll make it. It's been worse. That's what people ask about. How you doing? I'll make it. How you doing? It's been worse. How you doing? I think I'll be okay. Do they say, I'm ecstatic? Once in a blue moon, but it won't last. Because it's conditional. Why are you ecstatic? I just met somebody. Meh. Good luck. Why are you ecstatic? I won the lottery. Meh. Good luck. It's like there's these momentary experiences that you have that make it feel wonderful inside. Nobody's questioning that. Do they last? When was the last time you had a really high, wonderful experience and didn't need any more? Oh, you said you loved me. That's it. It's everything I ever wanted. But can we have babies? Can we get married? Will you not love anybody else? Can I trust you? It obviously didn't work because you're still trying to keep it going. You're still afraid of losing it. So the truth of the matter is that beings who have gone deep inside themselves, we call them yogis, whatever, have done deep meditation, have done deep work on themselves, every single one has come back and said the same thing. It's really nice in there. It's beyond nice. It's blissful. It's ecstatic. It's nirvanic. Yeah, Buddha called it nirvana. Okay? It's just wow. It's wow. When? Always. Always. Unconditionally. That is your natural state of being. Just like your heart beats, your lungs go in and out. There's Shakti. We call it Shakti. Spirit, Shakti, call it whatever you want. There's energy inside of you that is constantly flowing up, feeding you. Okay? Christ said, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of the Father. He's talking about that. He's saying you don't just get fed from outside. There's an inner flow of energy that is feeding you. And if you're not feeling it, believe it or not, since you're the only one in there, you did it. You made yourself not feel it. I'm going to prove that to you. And if you get rid of making yourself not feel it, you're going to feel it. Just like everybody else did. Or the few that bothered to work with it. Do you understand that? So sure, you can find out how to attract to yourself what you want, try to figure out how to win friends and influence people, try to get a good relationship, try to get a good family, oh my God, all these things you can try to do and keep them and all that stuff. Or you can sit there and say, there's nothing wrong with those things. That's very important too. When they talk about that word renunciation, I don't like that word renunciation. Renunciation is not part of spirituality. You can do it. They can help you build some willpower, do something. But it's not like I've said to you, if you find the right relationship, you feel better. If you get the money, you feel better. If you go travel, you feel better. It doesn't mean that if you find the ecstasy inside, you don't do those things. You're still interacting with life. You're just not doing the interaction in order to feel that. You're doing it because you feel that. You're getting married because you're filled with love. And you'll be filled with love if they leave you. You're having children because you're filled with love. And if you can't have children, you'll have fun not having children. You're not doing things to get something. You're doing things to express the beauty you feel inside yourself. Like an artist paints. If an artist paints in order to sell their painting, not a very good artist. They're a business person. If an artist paints because they have no choice, they feel this tremendous inspiration and creativity inside, and it wants to go out, and they want to, like Beethoven. I love that teaching, the talk about Beethoven. He went deaf. Isn't that amazing? He cut the legs off his piano and sat it on top of a wood floor and leaned over to feel the vibration because he couldn't hear the music. That's a true statement. That passion, unbelievable. He wouldn't stop for anything. So that's how you are. About what? About the job I like? No, about everything. I usually talk about this at the end. Let's get you started. It's what you're doing with your whole life. You're trying to elevate yourself. You're trying to feel good. You're finding passion. Find the job that turns you on. Find the person that turns you on. Find the situation. Every single thing you're trying to do. And try to avoid the ones that turn you off. There are things that take you down too, aren't there? All right? So you're in there busy trying to figure out what needs to happen outside so that when it comes in, it makes you feel good. You want it to come in through your senses. Okay, it does that naturally, right? Sight, sound, hear, touch. But when it comes in, it changes your inner state, doesn't it? Yes or no? Things from outside, when they come in, change your inner state. The way someone talks to you, this, that, all kinds of stuff. You want it to come in so that it makes you feel good. And you don't want it to come in so it makes you feel bad. Are you with the right crowd? That's what everybody's doing every minute of their life. And they're missing the fact that that's a waste. That's ridiculous. Why? Because the problem's inside. The solution's inside and the problem's inside. Now, let's get down to business. What do you mean? All right, let's say you meet somebody and you feel love. You feel open. You feel inspired. You feel turned on. What does that mean? I feel turned on. I feel excited. It means you have your energy level increased inside. It's not something that happened outside. It's something that happened inside. When you say to somebody, I love you, what are you saying? First of all, I've told you this before. When you say to somebody, I love you, you're lying. What you mean to say is, I feel love in your presence. I feel love in your presence. What if you didn't feel love in their presence? You wouldn't tell them you loved them. So we just get our language, you get it all messed up. What does it mean I feel love? What does it mean I love my job? What does it mean I feel excited? What does it mean I feel inspired? What does it mean I feel passion for what I'm doing? What does it mean? It means there's energy in here that wasn't there before. I didn't think I'd ever find a job that would turn me on, but I got interviewed today and I love the boss and everything and the people was this. Oh, I am so high. What does that mean? I'm so turned on. I'm so inspired. It means you're full of juice. In yoga we call it Shakti. It's the same Shakti. Don't you dare think that Shakti is some spiritual thing that you have to go meditate in the caves forever to feel Shakti. You feel it every single day of your life if you're turned on, or you feel the lack of it if you're turned off. All right? So what happened? Why are you feeling this elevation, this energy, this beautiful juice? We use so many words, don't we? Why are you feeling that? And the answer is very simple. Not because of what happened outside, because you opened. We use that word. I feel so open in your presence. What does that mean, I opened? Is there a door in there? Well, actually there is. You have the ability to open your centers of energy. I don't care if you know what chakras are. I don't care if you know anything about yoga. You still do it. Okay? If you ask somebody, I feel love. Do you touch the top of your head? You touch your foot? You touch your fourth chakra. That is where the energy comes out when you feel love. So what happened is the energy was always there. It's always there. It's never not there. It is always there. Listen to me. It's just like the sun during the day is always shining. But if you close your blinds, you don't get it. But if you open them, they're there. If you close them, then it's not there. That's what's happening inside of you. You're closing yourself and you're opening yourself. Things don't do it. I'll tell you something. Something that opened you 10 minutes ago could close you 10 minutes later. All they have to do is say the wrong thing. Somebody comes up and you say, oh my God, I feel so open around him. I'm telling everybody I love him to pieces, right? Somebody comes up and says, hey, love him all you want. Go talk to Sally. See what he did to her. How you feel now? Next time you see him. So this open-close thing is something you're doing. And I'm telling you, when you're open, you've opened the blinds. You open the juice. Then it flows. And when you're closed, you close the juice. If you go into deep depression, you are totally closed. There's no light coming in inside. And your mind is telling you it never will. That's how you get suicidal. There's nothing that can turn me on anymore. I know I'll never open again. Why would I bother living? All right? And the truth of the matter is, just behind that is ecstasy. Just behind that is the highest state you've ever felt in your entire life. But you can't see it. Why? You're closed. You close those blinds. You don't know there's the sun. So how do you open and close? What is that about? I wish I didn't have to tell you, because I wish you were just open, which is what you're meant to be. That's what it means to return to the garden. You're just always open, and nothing can close you. And what happened when you ate of that fruit and you fell from the garden? You closed. You closed yourself. All right? Now, how do you close yourself? Things, how I do it from foundational, things happen outside. Have you noticed? There's a billion, hundred, zillion, quillion things going on at the same time outside. But you just pick up a few of them where you happen to be standing. All right? And they come in through your senses. And when they come in through your senses, you in there experience them. Well, if you did that with everything, be here now, you just experience the reality of what's unfolding in front of you. It would come in, you'd experience it, you'd learn from it, it would make you richer. Every single experience you have is like learning, it's like going to school. If you've never seen a snake in your life, you're handicapped. If you see a snake, you may not like it at that moment, but you're a greater person. You're a snake-realized person. And that goes for every single thing. If you get married and don't get divorced, you had a certain experience. You get married and get divorced in 3 days, you probably learn something. Okay? Every single experience you have is your teacher, if you let it. But if it comes in, and in there, you, the consciousness, the indwelling being, doesn't like it. It doesn't feel good. It's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant vibration to get divorced or to get sick or get fired. These are not pleasant vibrations. But they're real. They're real experiences. They come in, and what you do is you push them away. Do you have hands in there that can push stuff around? You push things around that are uncomfortable to you. Where do you think they go? They get stored inside your energy system. They get stored inside literally your heart, not your physical heart. Okay? But you've just pushed energy that was trying to pass through you. Why is it trying to pass through? Because it happened, and you were in the way. All right? You were there. It came in through your senses, and it passed through you, but you didn't let it. So this is a whole energy system now that you packaged together and said, no, that energy is not allowed to pass through me. You have power in there. It's the power of the self. And it uses that will, and it pushes it away. And I'm telling you, and someday you'll understand it, I hope you already do, it's a package, you like package it, like a network packaging. You package the emotion, the thoughts, the feeling, the light, every single thing about it. You did not let pass through you. So you stored it inside of you. And yoga, we call that a samskara. That's one of the most important words you'll ever hear in your entire life. You blocked this energy pattern, and now it's stored inside. How do I know it's stored inside? I'll prove it to you. I'll talk about it 3 years later and see how you're doing. You know I don't like when you talk about that. I told you not to talk about that. It really makes me upset. Why'd you do that? You trying to hurt me? Hear me? I don't have to talk about it. Just drive down the street and see a billboard that reminds you of something. Comes back up, doesn't it? Yes or no? Does the stuff you shoved down there you didn't like in the past come back up? Okay. And what do you do with it? You push it back down. It's very uncomfortable stirred up in there. That's what anger is. Anger is stirred up, stored energy. And if you stored it, you couldn't handle it. It starts coming back up. If you're not centered enough or clear enough, it's coming out. Either you're pushing it back down or you're yelling and screaming and throwing pots and pans or more. That's what that energy is. Everything is energy. It's all an understanding of opening and closing and energy patterns, all right? So you stored this inside, and not only will it get exacerbated when it comes up and you're going to have trouble. I did 30 years of maximum security prison work. Guys ain't never getting out. They're wonderful people. They're fine people. but they had an experience in their life in which it came out. Usually they just lost control of themselves. One moment, just one moment, they're in it for life. And we all have our moments, don't we? Okay, so that's what's happening, is the stuff gets stored in there, and it comes back up when it's stimulated, and we push it back down, and now what do? We pattern, it makes me cry. We pattern our lives around that stuff. You literally say, no, I live in Connecticut. When that happened to me, I go back to Connecticut. Or I always tell you the one, you married a person named Ben and it didn't work out so good, so you got divorced. I tell you right now, every time you hear that word Ben, there's a lot of Bens around. Doesn't matter. If you're at a party a couple of years later, Ben, you hear Ben? Your heart goes, have I exaggerated? Look at me. Have you noticed? That's because you store that energy inside of you and it gets stimulated and then it does its thing. So you pattern your life so it doesn't get hit. You come up with this thing called what I like and what I dislike. Anybody have those things? What they like and what they dislike? It's all based on that. Period. A great being does not have likes and dislikes. They are open to the experience of life. They welcome it. They experience it. They go through the growth. Doesn't mean it's comfortable. They asked Ramakrishna, fully enlightened being, does an enlightened being ever feel anger? He said yes. But it's like riding on water. It just comes right in and goes right through. This energy comes up, releases. But that's not what we do. We either push it back down, let it out. Last thing in the world we do is, come on up, baby. You don't welcome that stuff up. You pattern your life so it doesn't happen. And then there are things that happened in your past that were pleasant. Thank God. Not as many as were unpleasant, but I don't want to have that discussion right now. You check it out. Go through one day and see how many things really turned you on versus how many things bothered you. Not even close. How does the weather have to be for you to say, oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful day, versus it's hot, it's cold, it's rainy, it might rain tomorrow. You have 1,000 things with the weather you complain about, but how often do you really say, oh my God, I'm glad to be alive, it's so nice. It happens sometimes, but not as much as your complaining stuff does. So basically, there are some things that happen in your life that turned you on, that cause you to open. We'll talk about opening and closing in a minute, but they turned you on. Guess what you want? You want them to happen again. And you pattern your life and make decisions in your life so the ones that bothered you before are less likely to bother you again, and the ones that turned you on before are most likely to turn you on again. What do you think's happening when you go out on the website? And again, don't listen to me. When you go on a website and you go to a dating site, I've never been to one, but I can imagine. So you go to a dating site, they ask you, what height do you want him to be? What color do you want the hair to be? What color eyes do you want him to? How do you know? Because you had past experiences. If you dated a redhead in 5th grade, and it was, oh my God, it was the most beautiful relationship you ever had, and then she moved away, you never had an argument or anything, you have a propensity toward redhead. You go, what redhead? I'm a redhead. And if the opposite happened, then you'd be with that. So these past experiences have left impressions on you, and all you're doing when you fill out that form is telling on yourself. You're telling on yourself, right? It is all based on your past experiences. Where else would you get those likes and dislikes? You were not born with them. So you develop those by the experience that you had. And now you're literally, I love that you're filling those things out, because you're literally saying, I want it to match my stuff. You're just telling on yourself. You're just analyzing yourself and putting it on a piece of paper. That's true of every single thing you have preferences about. Well, this turns me on. Why? Why does it turn you on? Not what turns you on. Why does not everything turn you on? Because you're closed. Please pay attention that it is your past experiences and how you dealt with them that determine what turns you on. Because I clue you in. If you go take that job and it just so exciting, oh my God, I can't wait, it's the most perfect job. And you go there and who you thought was going to be your boss got fired. And there's this other person. You're not so sure anymore, are you? It has to exactly match your stuff. That's what's happening. If it matches your stuff, and you know what I mean now by your stuff, all these some scars, all this stuff that you stored inside over the course of your life, if it matches your stuff, all of a sudden it fits. It opens you because it matches. You feel good. You feel open. I'm safe. Yes, I met Anthony once before. He's really nice. I'm so glad he's coming back. Well, I met so-and-so and I didn't like, they were having a bad day. I told you. I was having a bad 5 minutes when you met them. But you still do that. Don't you open to people and close to people? Based on what? I'm telling you what it is. It's based on the stuff that you stored inside, mostly that turned you off, and so now you won't open to it, but a few things turned you on, and so you open. That's what love at first sight is. Oh my gosh, she's got red hair just like my 5th grade person, and her name is the same. Oh my God, I want to meet this. What are you, crazy? She's an axe murderer. You don't know a single thing about her. You're just patterning it against these experiences you had that are... I tell you these things, I know you don't like it. I'm getting carried away. Your past experiences, look me in the eyes, because no one will tell you this. Your past experiences are meaningless. Every single one of them is meaningless. It's just a moment that you were standing there. 800 zillion things are going on in the universe, but you're experiencing one. And you've patterned all your preferences and your hopes and your dreams and your concepts and your views and your beliefs based on this string of meaningless experiences. It's not meaningless, but it's meaningless in comparison to what experiences you didn't have. I was asked you that, and I don't know if you ever get it. Sometimes I'll see somebody light up. When you're having an experience, that's important. It's my experience. I'm having an experience. How many are you missing? You're missing everything. You're sitting here on one spot on the planet Earth. How small is that spot? Oh my God. How small is the planet Earth? Oh my God. How big is the universe? Oh my God. And you're having this one experience, and even just on the planet, just in Gainesville, there's hundreds of billions of things going on at the same time. You're missing every single one of them. And if you experienced a different one, you'd have a whole different viewpoint of your whole life. It has nothing to do with you. It just has to do with the unfolding of life where you happen to be standing at the moment. And you're missing everything, but you pattern every single one of your likes and dislikes based on the experience you had. All right? And if I said that to you, you'd raise your hand and say, well, what else do I have? If what you have is nothing, then you have nothing, and stop saying that it's something because you don't have anything else. Maybe just being open is better than developing all this garbage that you develop inside that you think you know anything. You don't know anything. I read this book. How many didn't you read? I heard this lecture. Oh my God, it really turned me on. How many lectures didn't you hear? How many people know more about that subject? Right? Now you don't like this. You say, well, what do I have to stand on? Nothing. There's a chapter in Untethered Soul called Letting Go of False Solidity. You're not willing to know nothing. You're not willing to realize that the tiny little bit that you think you know is so nothing. You don't want that. You're going to want that. I want to build. I know this. I'm a specialist in this. I know this. I know that. You hear me? It turns out Newton was wrong. The whole thing was built on Newtonian physics. Sorry, Isaac. Okay? They developed a greater physics than you get. And someday they'll prove Einstein wrong, but possibly quantum physics might. It's challenging it. It's like nobody knows anything. It's so big. It's so stupid to think you know anything. To me, the one that really does it for me is you're sitting on a planet. I have a picture, actual photograph of a star. Giant, beautiful star, like up close with the sun, where you see the royals, this and that, with a tiny little dot crossing it, transiting it. It is relatively the exact proportions of the Earth to the sun. You have to look for the dot. You're on that. There's nothing that you're experiencing. There's any meaning. And it's been here for 4.5 billion years. How long will it be here? I know you're getting old. So you drop down this piece of stupid dirt, spinning in the middle of nowheres, that 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, and you're making a big deal out of the momentary experience that you had as you passed through your tiny little life, which lasts 80, 90 years, and you're gone. Pretty stupid, isn't it? What's the alternative? To let go. The alternative is to learn to be open for no reason. You're open because why am I open? Because I'm sitting on a little planet in the middle of nowhere spinning around a star, and there's 300 billion of those stars in this galaxy. Here it is, this tiny dot spinning around that one beautiful star. There's 300 billion, and there's 2 trillion galaxies. How important is your life? It's meaningless. How important is anything you know? It's meaningless. Take the biggest person on Earth, the biggest company on Earth, right, and leave Earth. They never heard of it. It's crazy what we're doing. And that's what makes us not be okay all the time. Because we're only okay when the experience that's happening now matches the sum total of what we put together of the experience we had in the past. That's how I get turned on. Or if it matches the bad experience I had, I'm neurotic. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't go there. I don't have blah, 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 blah. I know I'm pushing it. It's a terrible thing to tell somebody that all your past experiences are meaningless.
Is it not true? You want to know who they're meaningless to? The person next to you. I'll tell you what. Just pick a person in the crowd, sit down, and have them tell you every single moment they ever had in their life. But now they're going to sit down and listen to every moment you had in your life. You need to know what I've experienced. You haven't lived the experience, either negative or positive. Do you see what I'm saying to you? It's pure ego, all right? So you've had these experiences. You stored the bad ones and some of the good ones inside. So you have these patterns inside that make you feel the way you feel, that make you like what you like. Fair enough, can I say that? Is it not true? That's what makes you like what you like and dislike what you dislike. And now you go out there and run your life by trying to manipulate the moments that are folding in front of you so they match the ones you liked and don't match the ones you didn't like. Is anybody doing that? Is anybody going out every minute of their day trying to make people, places, and things, situations, jobs, everything, finance, everything be the way they want? It sounds silly to say that. You say, of course I do. No. What you don't understand is when it matches this meaningless stuff that you pattern inside yourself, you open. That's why you feel Shakti. It's not the thing. If you didn't have an experience, it wouldn't do it. If you had a different experience, it would change it. It's just the sum of your learned experiences, which are meaningless. But when it matches, that's the magic. When it matches, I agree with you. It opens because you let it. You let it open. I proved it to you. If it had happened 5 minutes earlier and you had a bad day, you don't open when it happens. Somebody tells you something later, you close. You are opening and closing based on these patterns you stored inside. Nobody's saying you shouldn't feel love. Nobody's saying you shouldn't feel passion. Nobody's saying you shouldn't feel inspiration. Nobody's saying it shouldn't be this beautiful high state. In fact, they're saying the opposite. They're saying it's supposed to be that beautiful high state all the time. But because you closed about everything else, I'll get there in a minute, you closed about everything except what matches your stuff. Take a breath. Is that true or not? How many things are there that can open you completely and blow you away? It's kind of on one hand. How many things are not that? All the rest. So you have limited your happiness to nothing. There, did I get that across? Anybody see that? And you're going out there chasing for the handful of things that might make you happy. Instead of catching on, you made it so that everything else doesn't make you happy. Because you said only this will make me happy. So you either go out there and manipulate and control and suffer and worry and struggle to try and get the few things, and all has to line up, by the way, right? Has to line up all your past experiences so you're blown away. I want you blown away, okay? And basically, then you feel the Shakti, you feel the openness. If you were open all the time, you would feel it all the time. You know that. If you got everything to be exactly the way you want it all the time, but it has to keep changing because you get used to stuff. You have taken on a job that that's where the word compassion comes from. I feel so sorry for you. You're out there struggling to be open when you're the one who's closing yourself. I used to use the example, you're starving to death. But there's food. There's a feast in front of you. It's just total every single thing you want. No, I can't eat it. Why? Because I want someone to feed me. I only could do it if this, not just somebody, if this person who I like comes and feeds me. Look what you've done. You've totally limited the state of your life to nothing. You limit it down so small, as opposed to sitting there saying, thank you, the thing I'll eat. It's called being open. And so what it comes down to is if something opens you, you feel the Shakti. If something closes you, you don't. So now you have a choice. Go out and try to manipulate, control, and figure out and make decisions, everything, to find out how you can get the next moments to open you and keep them that way. Or find out why you closed yourself. So first, why did you close yourself? I told you. When you shove stuff inside because you couldn't handle it, it blocks your energy system. It can't flow because you blocked it. Now, if things open you because they match what you want or avoid what you don't want, it's not just match what you want. You go, oh my God, I thought I was in so much trouble. I can't believe I avoided that. I feel so relieved. How you feeling? Great. So if you get what you want, if you avoid what you don't want, it opens you, doesn't it? Because of this stuff, because you built these wants and not wants. And so eventually you catch on. What if I didn't do that? What if I handled the situations that happen when they happen, so I didn't have all this garbage stored inside me? You'll be happy all the time. You'll be turned on all the time. That's what a great being has done, is they've learned to not block reality inside of themselves so they screw themselves up, right? So, well, we haven't done that. So now what do I do? Get rid of it. It's called cleansing. That's the essence of spirituality. What if you look inside and you work with yourself enough to where you don't have these blockages? If you don't have the blockages, I guarantee you, if you get rid of the blockages, Shakti is going to go pouring inside of you. Just pouring up. You'll be intoxicated all the time. You have to learn to, some people have to handle the liquor. You learn to handle your Shakti. A great being has to handle their Shakti. They get pulled up. Ramakrishna, I love him. You're not my guru, but that's my idol. They used to have to walk behind him. He's a guru, and there's disciples. And they clean the ashram, they do this, they do save, it's called save, they do work. Every single day, one disciple had the save of walking behind the master. Why have to walk behind the master? Because at any point, at any time, he'll hear a name of God. He'll see someone standing like Krishna did. He'll see something. His eyes will go up, his arm will go flying up, and he completely fall backwards in ecstasy, and it could last for days. And it started when he was 6. In India, he was walking through the paddy fields during the monsoon season, and it was black, totally black sky, and some white birds flew across the black sky. You know, nature can turn you on like sunset, something like that. He fell over, but they thought he was epileptic. They brought doctors in. That was a high being. His doors were so open that anything would knock him back. They once asked him, he was so revered, he got invited to prime ministers' houses, dinners. Surgeons would come and ask him questions about the surgery. I didn't even graduate high school. He was very intuitive. He was a very high being. And he'd go to these parties, his disciples would take him, and he'd go to the prime minister's house. And in the middle of dinner, he'd stand up and start dancing and drooling. The disciples would take him home. Don't you get embarrassed? And he said, because he was very sincere with his disciples, he said, you know how you sometimes talk about having an apparition, a ghost or something? Like you'd be looking, and all of a sudden this figure would kind of come out of nowhere and melt away. That's how I see your world. I just see blinding light, and every once in a while, I'll see like the shape of a building, but it will melt away into the light. Pretty interesting. Now, they say that in the bottom of the quantum field is just energy. It's all light. It's all made of the same thing. Maybe he was seeing that. In any event, you are a very high being. And basically, the reason you don't feel it is because you shove this stuff in there that blocks your chakra system, blocks your energy system. So that spirituality is about being open. Open to what? How about everything? How can I be open to everything? There's terrible things that happen. Being closed to them, does that mean they didn't happen? Well, you don't understand. I had this terrible experience when I was young, and it's always bothered me. So I'm very close to that topic. How's it helped? Did it help? Did it help it? Get rid of it? No. So it's so stupid. You just sit there and say, things have happened in my life. I'm not judging them. They happen. They're over. I accept it. I honor it. I respect it. I'm open to the reality that I had that experience. That's what openness means. It doesn't mean you can't work with it. It doesn't happen again. You work with things. But you start by accepting that the fact that you stored that inside closed you. And so now you can't have the energy. And if you wake up and you realize, I don't want this inside of me. You don't want this stuff inside of you. You just don't know how to get it out. Well, the first way to get it out is to understand, I don't want it inside of me, period. And I'm going to do every single thing I can to not pour more in and to get out what's in there. And that becomes the meaning of your life. Well, why would that be the meaning of life? Because that's what gives you the Shakti that you want. So instead of worried about a marriage, you're worried about the children, or worried about this, or worried about money, or worried about your career, which might or might not temporarily give you some juice, why don't you go for the gold? Go inside and get rid of what's blocking you. Now go out and interact with the world. I keep trying to show you that. It's not that you don't interact with the world. You do interact with the world. Life is an interactive sport. You were born for a reason. It's not like you sit in a cave somewhere. So basically what happens is, instead of I'm not okay, so I need to do everything I'm doing to try to be okay, which means manipulating and taking from everybody and everything. It's not a nice thing to say. But that's what you're doing. If you're having a relationship with somebody, you want them to be a certain way, don't you? And if they're not that way, you don't have a relationship with them. I'm with you because you turned me on. I'm with you because you helped me. If you're not helping me or turning me on, I don't know why I'm with you. That sounds pretty logical, doesn't it? Because you're not okay. What if you were okay? You're not taking anymore. There's nothing to take. You become a true giver. Basically, if you're with anybody, it's so that you can share the love that you have and help them. It's not for you. Wouldn't it be beautiful? Needs are not natural. Physical needs can be natural, all right? Minimal, but natural. There are no psychological needs. They don't know what they're talking about. Oh, we're a social creature, therefore we need people close. If you're in ecstasy, you couldn't care less. Go into complete ecstasy, just pouring inside of you. Have someone knock on the door. Why would I answer it? I'm already experiencing everything that I could ever experience. Now come out and share that. Now you have something to give. Need means taking. What does the word need mean? I'm not whole. Therefore, I need to take things to try to bring them into me to make it so I'm not feeling needy. And then I have to keep them that way. If you are filled with love and whole within yourself, the energy just pours off of you. You don't have to do anything. You're a giver instead of a taker. Don't feel guilty. I know you're not there, but you can get there. And the meaning of your life. Earth is the place that souls are sent to evolve. Evolve. Become filled with joy and love and raise yourself up. So how one does that is by being open and not closing. And there's the key. You don't know how to be open, but you know when you're closing, don't you? Open. You know what to do. Don't close. There, you're there. You feel it closing. If you don't close, you're open. It's binary. If you learn to not close, you will end up open. And I don't teach be open. Find something that opens you. No. Learn not to close. Because you close all the time. You close over the weather, you close over the driver in front of you close over what somebody said, you close over what somebody didn't say, you close over how somebody looked at you close over how somebody didn't look at you. How often do you close? You're pretty sensitive, aren't you? You close all the time. You resist, you close, uncomfortable. There's your work. Now we're down to true spiritual work. Do you feel yourself start to close? Do you ever feel the weird energies, mind and heart, and you start to close and protect yourself? Okay, that's your work. Can you learn to not close when that's happening? Well, why? Because when you're open, you feel everything you're trying to get anyways. Right? The meaning of your life is for love and joy and inspiration and just be turned on all the time and blow you. That's what you want. That's how you get it, by not closing. There. I'm scared to death that a burglar will come, so I keep my blinds closed. But it feels dark. I don't like the dark. Well, then don't close your blinds. Why? Because look, there's sun out there. Yeah, but I'm scared. Somebody can see in. Here you go. You're going to have to learn not to close those blinds. You want light all the time. You have to learn how to close the blinds. And what you're going to find out is it may look scary out there, but it's really not that scary. If you really went through every moment of your life, how many of them were death-defying? Almost none. How many of them were really so terrible that they were worth carrying them with you for the rest of your life and letting it ruin your life? None. Almost none. Yes, it's not perfect out there, but you can handle it. And if you can handle it, you can help. You're filled with good energy, filled with love, filled with clarity. Now you can come out. So I'm trying to encourage you, inspire you to not close. Really, all of it's about not closing. The whole thing is about not closing. Why does he keep talking about 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun? So that you look and say it's stupid to close. I'm sitting there floating in the middle of nowhere. I told you. If somebody asked you, what'd you do today? It's really very simple. I did a 360 on my axis. The planets went around. What did you do this year? A big 360. That's all you did. Why do I teach you something like that? So you don't close. So you understand that these meaningless experiences that you're having, that you're closing over, are ruining your life. It's not the experience. There's that quote in the new book. The moment in front of you is not bothering you. You are bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. The heat does not bother you. The rain does not bother you. You bother yourself because it's hot. You bother yourself because it's raining. If you stop bothering yourself about it, it's not a problem. If you stop bothering yourself about everything, it's not a problem. So all I'm ever doing is trying to inspire you not to close. And you have that ability. You're right there. You see it start to close. Now we get down to, what's the technique? Do I need a helmet that I put on my head? Do I need some special thing? Or do I need to go to India and find a guru? How do you not close? It's very, very simple. The question is, are you willing to do it? When you start to feel that energy get weird, you start to feel it get tense, you start to feel it close, relax. There. That's all it takes. Your intent to not go with that tendency to close, which is based on your samskaras, and you just relax. Now, people think I mean that the tension should relax. that the thing that's bothering you should relax. No. Anger can't relax. Anger is anger. Jealousy is jealousy. Fear is fear. Fear does not know how to not be fearful. Everything has its nature. You relax. You who's experiencing the fear, you who's experiencing the tension, you who's experiencing the not like, you're in there, you're conscious, you relax. As opposed to trying to make the thing that's bothering me relax, not bothering me, you in there that's experiencing it, because we've had this nice inspiring talk about how high you are and how beautiful it can be, it's worth it to just take a breath and relax. Well, what happens when you relax? You don't resist. Relaxation and resistance are opposite forces. You have to tense your muscles. You have to push away to resist. To be open, to not resist, you have to relax. So you learn to relax. When? If you want my opinion, all the time. What do you do in a yoga asana? Relax. Relax through it. Relax into it. That's what you learn to do with life. You relax. But you sit there and say, well, if I relax, it'll keep bothering me. No, if you relax, it'll pass through you. Now come back and deal with it. It's not that you're not dealing with it, but you're not dealing with it in order to make it so you're okay. You're dealing with it because, okay, I let go. I understand. This person said this thing to me. They screamed at me. I didn't do anything. There. That's what happened. Not I was afraid it might happen. That you better get rid of quick, because you can always be afraid something might happen. Don't you dare listen to that part of you that's sitting there saying, oh my God, I don't want this to happen, but it might. There's no win on that, is there? Relax. If there's a part of you that still has that neurosis, and it's talking like that, when it talks like that, don't yell at it, don't push it away, don't try to get rid of it, relax. How do you relax? Just relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your buttocks, relax, and then what's happening you don't like, so you want to push it away. You want to fight with it. You don't have to fight with it. If you fight with it, it stays. If you relax, it can pass through you. Not all at once, but you've given it room so that it can pass. And then the core of why it's happening, you're not dealing with some surface noise, the core of why you're feeling that starts coming up. Well, is it okay to cry? Is it okay to talk about it? It's nothing to do other than, are you willing to relax when you're crying? Are you willing to relax and see the part of you that wants to talk about it because it can't handle it without talking about it and wants to push the energy out? But that doesn't mean you don't talk about it. It means you're conscious and you're aware, and the ultimate pole star of your life is to let it go. And every day of your life, you have hundreds of opportunities, thousands of opportunities to relax through these little things and sometimes bigger things. And when you learn to relax, that's what it's all about. I'm going to teach you that. The highest technique is learn to relax. You're not going to relax with the big stuff, but you relax with little stuff. The car in front of you, they got to use a blinker. It's raining. There's little things all the time that you don't bother relaxing through. Learn to relax. And then you're going to find the bigger things come up, and then you're going to start to find. They write me from all over the world. It's ridiculous. Oh my God, it works. I was almost divorced, and my family wasn't working, and I started letting go and relaxing, and all of a sudden everything's much nicer. Of course it is. You're not fighting. You're not trying to manipulate the world and everybody in it so that they make you be okay. That's not a very nice way to live in it. What you did was learn to relax. You learn to let go. And then you sit there and say, but isn't everything get messed up? What amount of the world are you actually controlling with your mind and your resistance? The planets stay in orbit. The trees grow. The babies make themselves inside of you. 25 trillion. I've too many things to talk about. You're not doing those things. Are they miraculous? Is it unbelievable? Is it capable of running itself without you? I want to get that straight. Is this world capable of running itself without you? Do the atoms bond together? Does the quantum field throw off subatomic particles? You're not in charge of anything. Those people tell you you're creating your own universe. I don't even talk about it. You are, when you merge with God, and that's who you're talking about, you're creating your own universe. When you're there as an ego, and you're sitting there saying, I want to control this, it's already being created. It's already, oh my God, I can't even talk about it. And you're going to go there and say, I'm doing it. No, you're not doing it. You're just trying to make it be what you want it to be, instead of being the reality it is. It's just so silly. Accept and honor reality. Then bring good energy out to see if you can help. That's how you deal with it. Not, I'm missing things, I don't feel right, I don't like what's happening, so I'm going to try and manipulate one way or another to get it the way I want it to be. What you're trying to do is make it be a way you can handle it. Make it be the way you want. For every way you want, there's a lot of people that don't want it that way. Okay? That's why there's war. That's why there's disharmony. So this concept that it's supposed to be the way you want, wake up. That's not an answer. The answer is you be a person who understands if I'm open, I can feel love and openness and Shakti and inspiration. Then I can come out and help. If I'm not open and I'm closed, then you guys better watch out, because there's a way I want you to be. Getting what you want is so overrated, it's ridiculous. Honoring and respecting reality and then dealing with it with love and compassion. That's all the great teachers, what Christ taught, what Buddha taught. But they all taught that, didn't they? Now you understand why. Don't close. Don't close, and your whole life will be filled with light, and you'll be spreading it everywhere. Jai Gurudev.